Warning: Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Warning. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use, for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Everybody's suspect that would do me harm. And don't ever forget Malcolm. Malcolm said that Republicans are brute wolves and Democrats are sly foxes.
Preach.
But don't ever forget they both belong to the dog.
Amen.
What it do, family and friends? Welcome back to the Church of Black Power. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you can be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you're hitting that like and share button so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear. And if you have not done so yet, please click that link in the description. Go to change.org and put your signature on the petition for reparations. And with that being said, family, I hope each and every one of you had a wonderful holiday. If you celebrate, if you don't, I hope you had a wonderful weekday. Regardless of the fact, I hope everything has been wonderful for the family. Let's leave that there, all right? Shout out to everybody in the building today. We got some things to discuss here on the last Sunday service of the year. It has been a fantastic year for foundational Black Americans. It has been a phenomenal year for our ancestors. And I don't want to go through every little thing that we didn't, accomplished this year, because there's much that we've accomplished and there's much to do in the future. But what I do want to do, I want to take a moment of silence just for a brief second, just to give honor and thanks, not just to the Most High, but to our ancestors as well. So give me a quick second. Amen. All right, family. So we got some things to talk about today. I really want to touch on something that JD Vance, had said at the AmFest. We're actually going to go over his whole speech as well as a little something else a little bit later. But I wanted to touch on what he had to say, that America is no longer a racist country. White people don't have to apologize anymore. I want to kind of touch on those statements, and I'm going to prove that to be false. That's number one. Number two, not only is America still a racist country, but you're getting dual racism. You're not just getting racism from one party and not the other. Racism didn't just eliminate itself. No, you have a form of racism on both sides, and not just a form. Outright blatant racism on both sides, even though, the Democrats, they tend to act as if, they're our friends and all this other stuff. That's just that covert racism. And then, the Republicans with their overt racism. We're going to talk about that here today. Before we do so, let me go ahead and give out the B1 salutes, the last B1 salutes for the year. Let me give a B1 salute and shalom to our good sister Hurricane Nisi in the building. Much love to you, my queen sister. Thank you for being here, as well as our brother Reparations Nation is in the house. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. Our good brother Wallow J is in the building. Much love to you, my brother. Thank you for being here, as well as our good sister Aquarius Minded. Shout out to you. Much love to you. Thank you for being here, my sister Queen, as well as Estelle Gray in the building. Much love to you, family. Thank you for being here. Our sister Anita Harrell is in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. Our brother Black RU is in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here, as well as our good brother Legit Hustle in the building. Much love to you and thank you for being here. Our brother Zavon Scott is in the building. Much love to you and thank you for being here. C. Phillips is in the building. Much love to you, family. Thank you for being here, as well as our good sister Felicia Haywood is in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here. Our sister Andrea Jones is in the building. Much love to you, my queen sister. Thank you for being here, and I hope all is well with you. I hope all is well. I hope you're feeling better, my sister. I hope you're feeling better. Shout out to our good sister Astarte Jones in the building. Shalom to you, my sister queen, and thank you for being here. Our good brother Jesse Paris is in the building. Shalom to you, and thank you for being here, my brother. Our sister Bad 72 is in the building. Shout out to you, my good sister, and thank you for being here. Let me make sure I got everybody here. To make sure we got everybody. Wolf, wolf, that's right. God dang it. They're both dogs in this bitch. Let me just put that very clearly. Shout out to our sister Shelly in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here, as well as our good sister Key Prince in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here, as well as our good sister Black Spider in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here, my sister Queen. Our sister Angelic is in the building. Much love to you, my sister Queen. Thank you for being here, as well as our good brother John's son is in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here. Our brother Breeze Omega is in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here. I think that's all we got here. Let me make sure. Our sister Shalonda is in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here. You is in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here, as well as Cultural Superpower up in the building. Thank you for being here. Much love to you, as well as our sister FBA Empowerment in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here. And our good family, We the People in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here. Now, family, let's just jump up into it because I don't want to waste any time. Let's get over here to this AmFest and go over some of the things that JD Vance had to say. Let's get into it, family.
Last year, my husband introduced to all of you our incredible President of the United States. This year, it's my blessing, AmFest, and privilege to be able to introduce to you our incredible Vice President, JD Vance.
Wait a second, Erica. You mean you ain't gonna come out in no leather pants doing the little grease dance? You're the one that I want type shit in order to bring JD out this time? Okay. You no hugging in the hair? No rubbing on the back of his skull? None of that? All right. I'm just curious, I just wonder why she didn't hug him the way she hugged him before. Why she didn't go up dancing to him? Ooh, 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 honey. In those leather pants. Shout out to Only Us in the building. Much love to you, family. Thank you for being here. Let's get into it.
JD Vance lives the American dream because he wants you guys to be able to live the American dream. I grew up in Middletown, Ohio, a small town where people spoke their minds, built with their hands, and loved their God, their family, their community, and their country with their whole hearts. But it was also a place that had been cast aside and forgotten by America's ruling class in Washington. Despite the closing factories and the growing addiction in towns like mine, in my life, I had a guardian angel by my side. She was an old woman who could barely walk, but she was tough as nails. I called her Mamaw, the name we hillbillies gave to our grandmothers. Thanks to that Mamaw, things worked out for me. After 9/11, I did what thousands of other young men my age did. I enlisted in the United States Marines. From Iraq to Afghanistan, from the financial crisis to the Great Recession, from open borders to stagnating wages, the people who govern this country have failed and failed again. That is, of course, until a guy named Donald J. Trump came along. President Trump represents America's last best hope to restore what, if lost, may never be found again. A country where a working class boy born far from the halls of power can stand on this stage as the next vice president of the United States of America. For Charlie, we will speak the truth every single day. For Charlie, we will rebuild this United States of America to greatness. We will never cower, even when staring down the barrel of a gun. For Charlie, we will remember that it is better to stand on our feet defending the United States of America.
Even while staring down the barrel of a gun. Family, do you think that that is good wording? I think that that was insensitive wording, to be honest with you. Especially because the neck twerk and how he went the hell down. That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. And I agree with you, Wallow. It is 100% a terrible hype video. They're trying to put this video out in order to give JD some sort of leg up. So when he runs for president, if they select him to run for president, might I add, that, he'll have some sort of backing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't believe JD Vance is going to be their selection. I don't believe that Donald Trump is going to give him the head nod when he walks out of the office. I just believe all this is for none, to be honest with you. But let's continue. Shout out to our sister. Hold up. Our sister Priscilla Taylor in the building, as well as Shell Nash. Much love to you, as well as our good sister Bad 72. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. Let's continue.
And defending the truth than it is to die on our knees. May our Heavenly Father give us the courage to live as Charlie lived. That is what we must do for Charlie.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Vice President J.D. Vance.
What? Wait a second. A high five? No. You can't go from giving this old embracing, loving type hug, just scrolling on the back of his head in leather pants to a high five. That makes it look even weirder. You just literally just solidified the fact that y'all been bumping uglies. Well, at least in my eyes. Now you're trying to dial it back. No, you can't dial it back. Now you might as well have gave him the same type of hug you gave him before. I thought that was your normal type of hug, Erica. But I digress. I just find it to be weird. Shout out to our good brother, Rashad Wallace, in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here, as well as Apollo in the building. Let's continue.
Wow. How's it going, Phoenix? It's so good to be here with you all on this amazing day to close out an amazing AmFest 2025. What an amazing crowd all of you are, and I have to admit, today solves one of the great insecurities that I had. Because as I've watched Nicki Minaj come out and declare her support for the truth, for courage, and for wisdom, I've had this little nagging voice in the back of my head wondering whether she thinks I look like the J.D. Vance meme. And it turns out, and I confirmed when she walked down the steps, Nicki Minaj actually knows what I really look like, and that is the best tribute that I could possibly imagine.
And Nicki Minaj also called you an assassin. Yeah, poor choice of words. But let me continue. My sister Sarte, you said there's something going on with the phone. It shouldn't be on the dual mode. So if there's something going on, try refreshing and see if that works, because it should not be on the portal mode. It should only be, well, not portrait. It should only be on the landscape. So hopefully they're not messing with my page here just to do it. Let's continue. Exactly, my sister. She declared him an assassin. And I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, a lot of people, they pickpocket that right up out of the situation. They did not wait not one day to call that out. Not one day to say, what did you mean by that, Nikki? As if Nikki got some insider information there. But I digress. Let's continue.
I have to start off with a note of gratitude. Erica, I cannot thank you enough for your strength, your grace, and your kind words of support for this administration and for me personally. You lead an incredible movement at Turning Point. And I will fight alongside you and President Trump and every patriot in this room to defend the country that we so dearly love. And when I say that I'm going to fight alongside of you, I mean all of you, each and every one. President Trump did not build the greatest coalition in politics by running his supporters through endless, self-defeating purity tests. He says, make America great again because every American is invited. We don't care if you're white or black, rich or poor, young or old, rural or urban, controversial or a little bit boring or somewhere in between. People of every faith come to our banner because they know that the America First movement will make their lives better, and they also know that the Democrats don't care about anything other than maybe transing their kids.
I don't care if you're black, white, Puerto Rican, Asians, young, old, small, large, biggie, tall. Tell that to Amru Fudel. Tell that to Amru Fudel. I'm just saying, you know, it's right there in your face. Oh, I love it already. Shout out to our good brother Antithesis in the building. Oh yeah, Wallow J, they care. They damn sure care. And Amru found out real quick how much they care. Real quick. Oh, this dude. Let's continue.
So if you love America, if you want all of us to be richer, stronger, safer, and prouder, you have a home on this team. I didn't bring a list of conservatives to denounce or to deplatform, and I don't really care if some people out there, I'm sure we'll have the fake news media, denounce me after this speech. But let me just say, the best way to honor Charlie is that none of us here should be doing something after Charlie's death that he himself refused to do in life. He invited all of us here. Charlie invited all of us here for a reason, because he believed that each of us, all of us, had something worth saying, and he trusted all of you to make your own judgment. And we have far more important work to do than canceling each other. We have got to build, and President Donald Trump is a builder. We're building a better country right now, and you have a rightful place in the success of your nation and the success of this movement. And we build by adding, by growing, not by tearing down. Charlie Kirk was a great builder too. He understood that any family can have its disagreements, its tough conversations. We can learn and improve and treat one another better. We can love each other despite the disagreement. But winning demands teamwork. And I'm honored to be on Turning Point's team. I'm honored to be on your team, and I will stay that way.
Family. Oh, yeah. Shout out to our sister FBA Empowerment, because this comment says it all. Everything that I was thinking. These people just lie like breathing. That's all this. That whole opening statement was just a breath of lies. He inhaled and exhaled lie after lie after lie. That's all that was. And he's trying hard to basically get in the good graces of Turning Point USA. Because what he thinks is he's going to be next up to run. And so what he also believes is Turning Point USA will give him the leg up. Yeah, that's not going to happen. That is my personal, professional opinion. I don't believe J.D. Vance is going to be able to get into that office. I don't believe he's going to get chosen or selected to be the man, the front man of the party. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Now, he says they don't care about color, but he knows damn well they absolutely do. That's why everybody was looking at you weird when you brought your little Indian wife into the building. Yeah, don't act like you didn't know. That's why people were so excited when they seen you hugging on Erica, because they thought that y'all could have a little thing going on like me and Mrs. Jones. Don't act like you don't know. Oh, yeah. Good point. Just ask Tim Scott. Yeah, Ask Larry Elder if you guys don't see color. Y'all wouldn't even let him debate. Yeah. Shout out to our good brother, Iron Will, in the building. Shout out to our good brother. Not even with Erica as his wife. I think they'll be dating by March of next year. And I bull stuff you not. I believe if not dating, he'll be getting his divorce by March of next year. And then by the end of next year, him and Erica will probably be all tag teamed up. That's what I see happening. I don't see him getting into the presidential seat with that Indian woman. I just don't. But I digress. Let's let him continue.
There's still so much important work to do, my friends. We're barely a year into this administration, not even a year into the administration. But I'm so proud of the accomplishments of the president and the entire administration. In just a year, we ended Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's border crisis. December marks 7 months straight of zero releases at the southern border. More than 2.5 million illegal immigrants have left the United States, the first time in over 50 years that we have had negative net migration, and it's just the start. When you restore sanity at the border, it shows up everywhere else. Rent prices are dropping 4 months in a row, and more native-born Americans are working than ever before. Kamala Harris opened the border and destroyed the economy. The Trump administration gave you net negative migration and much more job creation.
Then why the hell is unemployment so high right now? If job creation has been happening, you would see unemployment take a large dip. We have not seen such a thing. As a matter of fact, you've seen more companies call for immigrant labor, and you've seen your president call for the same damn thing, talking about Americans aren't bright enough, aren't intelligent enough to make batteries. Where is this job creation at? Is it job creation for foreigners? I just did, for all my members, y'all know already, but I just did a video and released it yesterday talking about how they're having job fairs. You have all these different companies going out to Atlanta, and they're worried about immigrant labor. They're saying immigrant labor is down, and these businesses won't survive without the immigrant labor. Because, you know, America's a country of immigrants, don't you know? They're not out here promoting hiring U.S. citizens. And more specifically, this is Atlanta. This is a black goddamn city we're talking about. And they're talking about bringing in immigrant labor. I digress, family. Where is all these jobs? Astarte said, my rent was just raised. Not surprising. Not surprising at all. Shout out to our brother Breeze Omega. He says both sides are pro-immigrant, and in turn, you're anti-foundational Black American. If you're pro-immigrant, you're anti-foundational Black American. That's my stance for the rest of my life. Period, point in black. In the very same way that the labor board the labor committee made it very apparent that you cannot be pro-immigration without being anti-foundational Black American. And like I said, the name of this right here is Polar Opposites of Racism. And that's exactly what both parties are. They're both still 100% racist, They're just the polar opposite of each other while being racist. Two wings of the same dirty ass buzzard. Shout out to our good sister C. Terry in the building. Much love to you, my sister Queen. Thank you for being here. Let's let them continue.
Real wages are finally growing. Inflation is half of what it was under Democrats. Gas prices are their lowest in years. And we have finally made it clear that in the United States, we believe in hard work and merit. Unlike the left, we stand against treating anybody. And I love what Nikki said about this. We don't treat anybody different because of their race or their sex. So we have relegated DEI to the dustbin of history, which is exactly where it belongs.
Family?
Nigga, please.
That's exactly how I feel. We don't treat anybody differently. Tell that to all the mad guys who get upset whenever they see a black character get put into a movie when it's supposed to be a white character. Tell that to all your incel maggites who has an issue with everything Disney does because it's quote unquote woke. Tell that to your maggites who tries to revise history because they don't want people telling the truth about American history because it's so racist. You don't care about people's color and nationality? Yeah, you don't care about people's color as long as they're willing to come in, shut their mouth, and not speak up on the historical racist policies of both the left and the right. When you become a Republican as a black person, you got to catch amnesia. You got to act as if you know nothing about the right being as demonic as they are. You don't see color. Y'all don't care about color. You damn sure cared about our good brother Carmelo Anthony, didn't you? Y'all tried your hardest to make that about color. But you don't see color, right? Y'all want everybody to join you as long as they keep their mouth closed. Hell, Larry Elder was one of your staunch, stomp down Republicans, and y'all treated him like the bootlick that he is. Not to say that I mind, but you're not going to sit here and tell a goddamn lie like that. That's all you guys are good for, to be honest with you. All Republicans do, in the very same way that Democrats do, all you guys do is lie and cover each other's asses. That's it. But let's let them continue.
In the United States of America, you don't have to apologize for being white anymore. And if you're an
family, can anybody in the chat list me somebody who went around apologizing because they're white? I'm just asking for a friend. Does anybody in the chat remember people just randomly coming out apologizing to them because they're white? I've never seen an apology. I've never seen anybody come up to me and say, oh my God, thank God. Thank God I found a black man. I've been looking for one all day. I just want you to know, I apologize for me being white. I've never seen it happen. And if I did see it happen, if someone did run up on me and apologize for being white, my response would be, nigga, I don't care. I don't care about you being white. I don't care about no apology. If you're so sorry, I'm going to need you to get that check cut out to me. I'm going to need you to stomp down for reparations and a transformative black agenda. I'm going to need you to stomp down for an anti-Freedmen hate crime bill. I don't give a damn about you being sorry. Don't be sorry, ho. Be careful. But yet I've never seen it. I've never heard it. God dang it. Usually, you got people talking about they shouldn't have to apologize for being white. That's what I've heard. But someone just, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh man, black guy, I'm so sorry, sir. I just want you to know I'm sorry for being white. I'm sorry for being white in America. It ain't happened. But let's let them continue.
You don't have to talk around your skin color when you're applying for college because we judge people based on who they are, not on ethnicity and things they can't control.
Really, JD? Well, get rid of all those legacy admissions then. No, if we're judging people on the content of their character, get rid of legacy admissions. But you won't do that. Why? Because 89% of all people who are accepted into colleges using legacy admissions are Nabiscos. 89% of the legacy admissions are people who look like you. So you can be proud of getting rid of affirmative action. Yeah, cool. I applaud that too. It didn't benefit us. But you can't say people ain't got to worry about college admissions because, you know, everybody's being treated the same when everybody isn't being treated the same. As long as you got a father or a grandfather, a mother, something like that, that went to a college that you want to go to, you're going to get in 9 times out of 10. It doesn't matter about your test scores, your SAT scores, or anything like that. But go off.
We don't persecute you for being male, for being straight, for being gay, for being anything. The only thing that we demand is that you be a great American patriot. And if you're that, you're very much on our team.
Tell Rob Smith that. Tell Rob Smith you don't care about them being gay or anything. They was in there calling him all kind of loose cigarettes. And for all those who know, you know what loose cigarettes is. They was in there in the MAGA event calling Rob Smith all kind of loose cigarettes. So much so that Rob Smith, he wanted to be a Democrat for 2 weeks. Oh yeah, JD, you're not doing too well today. You're not doing too well at all. Shout out to Trey Parks in the building. Much love to you, family. Thank you for being here. Let's let them continue.
Just consider the contrast. Kamala Harris used the government to censor you. We're using in the Trump administration the government to protect your free speech, whether it's on college campuses or in the digital marketplace of ideas.
Just not on X, right? Just not on Facebook, right? Oh, yeah, that's right. Just not on TikTok, correct? Yeah, you can be a free speech absolutist if you go to college campuses and talk to children. But when you're on these platforms and you're correcting your white supremacist talking points, when you're correcting the stains you call Magites, or I call Magites, oh, that's not free speech. You got Elon Musty, Alondra, removing all kind of posts that he doesn't agree with. I've had TikTok take down so many videos of mine, it's ridiculous. I'm shadow banned so badly on TikTok. Anytime I get on the live, I am blocked out. I am immediately kicked out of that live and banned for 3 to 5 days. But you're protecting free speech, right? You're protecting free racist speech. You're protecting hate speech. That's what you mean by protecting free speech. You're making it possible to bring back hate speech. And I don't even know why I said bring back when it never really left. But that's what you're doing. You're protecting hate speech. But go off.
Today, our military is welcoming patriots instead of firing them for refusing to accept an unlawful vaccine mandate. And to honor Charlie, but also to honor all of you, we're working to end the scourge of left-wing violence in the United States of America. We're going after the far left.
What about right-wing violence in America? What about Nabisco violence in America as a whole? You're just trying to make it seem like, oh, the left is so violent. And at the end of the day, whether the person is left or right, they're still a Nabisco male or a Nabisco woman or a Nabisco nigga bitch. Either way, it's a Nabisco. What are you doing about this Nabisco violence? What are you doing about Nabisco crimes? I know the right would love to make it seem like they don't see color, but all y'all been trying to do is quite literally blame all violent nature on black people. Every time you need to go somewhere, you said, I'm going in there because of the gang violence. I'm going in there because of the violent black males who are stabbing Ukrainians on the train. This is all I've heard. I haven't heard anything about Nabisco violence. Let's be very clear. No, you're not trying to stop violence overall. You're just stopping violence on the left, huh? Violence from the left. That we don't even know it's from the left. You're just putting the title on this little kid. I know they're talking about, I called him a kid, but he's not. You're putting the title on this man. And I know you're talking about Tyler Robinson. However, there is no evidence to really show that he is left-leaning. He didn't come out and say, hey, I'm a left-leaning person out of his own mouth. So why not just attack Nabisco violence overall? Okay. Shout out to Felicia. He's whistling power. He's whistle power to young YT people. They can go on HBCs and finish what Charlie did. And I'm going to be honest with you. He's trying to whistle Dixie that. But the fact of the matter is, we've already shown them what'll happen if you come on the campuses. The two separate instances they tried sending Nabiscos on the campus. And in both instances, they was escorted off. What was that? The Blexit organization tried to go because, you know, they have black skin, you know. They thought they can go onto the campuses and do like Charlie Kirk as well. However, they got their ass escorted off of the premises as well. So, yeah, he's trying his hardest to whistle Dixie on that. Send these younger YTs to the HBCUs. But you don't think those younger YTs saw what happened with these other folks? Just saying. Just saying. Shout out to our good brother Iron Will. He says every male in attendance at that rally needs their hard drives checked immediately. Abso-damn-lutely. Another great point. Nikki, lucky she made it out alive. She might not just make it through the year, though. She might still get deported. Miss I'm Not a Citizen. Miss Donald Trump and JD Vance make me feel so American. That's how I know you're not a citizen, by saying shit like that. Anyway, I digress. Let's continue.
Crime networks, but we're also going after the monsters that fund them. We don't just want to go after the Antifa member who threw a brick at an ICE agent. We want to know who bought the brick, and we're going to prosecute them too. We're making America healthy again with our great HHS Secretary, Bobby Kennedy. We're bringing drug prices down and purging our food supply of the poison that had built up over a generation. But my friends, there is so much more to be done. And the people saying we need to be doing more, we need to be doing it faster, trust me, I hear you. Greatness awaits every single one of you in the America First movement we are building together, but we need your help to get there. Do you want more prosecutions? Great. So do we. Donald Trump and I have a list of better judges and prosecutors to enact swifter justice. So join us in the fight against the stupid Senate rules to stand in their way. Do you want faster deportations? So go to ice.gov/join, because we're building an army of patriots and we need good people who care about the country to help us secure the border and do it even faster.
Wow, JD, you mean to tell me people ain't lining up to get that $50,000? You would think that there would be a whole goddamn pool full of Nabiscos ready to go. Okay. I'm just wondering why. Let's continue.
Do you want rents to keep dropping and wages to keep rising as they have over the last few months? Then mobilize with us. Don't hand power back to the people who tanked the economy in the first place. Join the America First movement, and you will always have a place on our great team.
How are you guys America first? You got an immigrant wife. Trump got an immigrant wife. Y'all rallied around this Ukrainian woman who's somebody with mental health issues stabbed in the neck. You rallied around, god dang it. I can't even remember. Were they Russians? When they got their ass whooped, they messed around and found out, thinking that they were going to disrespect foundational Black Americans, and they got their ass whipped in the middle of the street. Was that the Russians that you allowed to go back home without prosecuting, but you wanted to prosecute the Black folk? What are you talking about, JD? You sound stupid in the head. These people live in a world of their own. A B1 salute to our good sister Mia Kim in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here, my sister Queen. Yeah, exactly. But lock the brothers up for defending themselves nonetheless. But y'all America first, don't you know? All right. Exactly. This is what you call just gaslighting, the stupid. This is exactly what you're calling. This is what you call gaslighting 100-fold. Blatant lies. America first. If it's America first, why are Americans involved in conflicts that ain't got nothing to do with America? Why are we sending troops to deal with issues that got nothing to do with us? America first. If it's America first, why are y'all importing labor? Because every state, every country, they take care of their citizens. But you guys are importing labor, which means that you're not looking out for the interests of the citizen, which means that the citizen can accumulate wealth if you're importing labor. How is that America first? You're deporting while importing. Let me say that again for the slow bus children in the back of the classroom. You are deporting while importing for the same damn jobs. Where is that in the handbook? Where does that say America first? Let's continue.
Next month will be the official one-year anniversary of the Trump administration, and I am damn proud of our record so far. Now, the Democrats are already talking about 2028, and it looks like they're going to nominate a California liberal who's presided over rolling blackouts, open borders, and unchecked violent gangs. They're just trying to settle on whether it's going to be Gavin Newsom or Kamala Harris.
It's going to be neither. If the Democrats want a sweeping loss in 2028, they'll pick Gavin Newsom or Kamala Harris. If they want a swinging fight, they'll select somebody else. Maybe Shapiro. Because people don't hate Shapiro as much as they hate Gavin Newsom, as much as they hate Kamala Harris. Now, we still won't be voting for Shapiro. However, that would be a better choice than giving the game or giving the Rams over to Kamala again. She had billions of dollars and couldn't get the job done. And if you send out Gavin Newsom, guarantee he's not even going to get off the ground. Let's be very clear about that. Key Prince said nobody voted for Gasm Newsom scum or Shapiro. Okay, I feel you. I'm not voting for either one either. I'm just saying, if the Democrats are smart, they wouldn't go with the number one and number two people that immediately will send them downhill. And the number one is Kamala Harris. The number two is Gavin Newsom. Absolutely. Gruesome Newsom. Shout out to Jesse for that. Gruesome Newsom. Let's let them continue.
And in the meantime, what are the Democrats offering you in the meantime? I got to say, ladies and gentlemen, they are not sending their best. Omar Fateh was Ilhan Omar's candidate for mayor of Mogadishu. Minneapolis. Little Freudian slip there. The candidate for Senate in Maine for the Democrats calls me a Nazi, which is rich coming from a guy who literally has a Nazi tattoo on his chest. And Jasmine Crockett. Oh, Jasmine Crockett. The record speaks for itself. She wants to be a senator, though her street girl persona is about as real as her nails.
Damn, Jasmine. I'm gonna be honest with you. That was a stinger there. You got the Nabisco saying you ain't got no street cred. Oh, Jasmine. I wouldn't take that lying down if I was you. But at the same time, Jasmine take a lot of things lying down. I digress. Shout out to our good brother Black Truth United. Much love to you, family, as well as our good brother Drew Laston in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for your Cash App donation. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always. And shout out to Reese in the building. Much love to you. And thank you for being here, family. Well, let's let them continue.
But ask yourself, what do all of these people have in common? And the unfortunate answer is they are puppets. They don't actually matter. They are cogs in a machine that wants to make you poorer, that wants to make you less powerful, and wants to make you less safe in the country your ancestors built. And while President Trump and I are...
Whose ancestors, JD? Whose ancestors? Not nobody in Turning Point USA? Not one person in Turning Point USA have ancestors that built the country. Foundational Black Americans built this bitch from the ground up with our blood, sweat, and tears. It's our bones buried under every goddamn state. The hell you mean? Who the hell built the country? Who are you talking to in that arena? You are a blatant liar, sir. In a blue tie. Whose ancestors built the country? What the hell? Exactly, my sister. The delusion is real. The delusion is just outright nasty. Lying through his veins. You are absolutely correct. Your ancestors who built the country. Yo, Nick. Family. Oh, family.
Nigga, please.
I don't know who lied to JD. You can't immigrate to a country and then say you built it. Let me say that again for all the slow bus kids in the back of the classroom. You cannot immigrate to a country then claim to have been the builder of it. You, sir, are a liar. And that's all you can do. Because you have no stake really in the founding of this country whatsoever. Do you go home at night and tell your little Indian wife that you built the country? Oh, man. Let's let it continue.
Doing everything we can to break that machine. The left is still there, my friends, and they're still very powerful. Don't delude yourselves. It's the activist groups who want to poison your kids with hormone replacement therapy and toxins in your water supply. It's the corporate boardrooms pushing diversity quotas while whining about the fact that Donald Trump won't let them ship American jobs overseas anymore, and boo-hoo to that.
Oh, my sister, you ain't got to ask twice because he is definitely a clown, so we got to play it.
Send in the clowns.
It's the rogue district judges who issued nationwide injunctions every time the president lifts a finger. It's the Soros DAs who cheered on as their cities burn. What unites them? They win when our country loses. They get rich when you get poor. They hire the illegals that they bring in to take your jobs. They drink fine wine in the countries they ship your jobs to.
They hire the illegals that take your jobs, and yet you're also flying in H1B1s, excuse me, in order to take those same jobs. Sounds like the same person to me. The left hand is hiring illegals, and the right hand is flying in goddamn immigrants to do the same thing the illegals are doing. So what's the difference? Both parties are taking jobs away from citizens, let's be honest. But okay, go ahead.
They censor you because they'd rather destroy the Constitution than risk losing an argument. They bring in millions of voters because they know they can't win the argument with the people who are already here. And you know what else unites them? We're going to kick their ass next November and every year after that. Part of the American dream is the idea that we're all, every single one of us, on the same team. We're all part of the same American family. If you want to destroy that, do what Democrats have done, not just for the last 5 years, but for the last 30 or 40. Make one race the enemy of another. Make one gender the enemy of the other. Make Americans suspect and despise each other instead of loving their shared country. When I think about some of the most impassioned debates happening in our country, the nature of citizenship, of what it means to be an American, it all speaks to an obvious truth. Americans are hungry for identity. We're hungry for belonging. We're hungry for a sense of our place in the world. And it's no surprise why. For many years, our fellow Americans have been dealing with a globalized economy that homogenized cultures and hollowed out our towns. Academics and activists pushing race and gender politics down everyone's throat 24/7. Big tech overlords using their internet platforms to censor stories that challenge the dominant far-left narrative in our country. More than any time I can recount, people are talking about American identity and figuring out what it is that unites us. But I want to say something here. The only thing that has truly served as an anchor of the United States of America is that we have been, and by the grace of God, we always will be, a Christian nation.
No, JD. No, America is not a Christian nation, and it never has been. Now, you can argue that as of recently, you all have been claiming Christian values here, but America has never been a Christian nation whatsoever. Shout out to B1, salute to our good brother Kid Gravity and Beyond in the building. Much love to you, my good brother. America wasn't founded on Christian values. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. The founders, or the people you call the founders, weren't Christians. Many of them fleeing religious persecution. That was the whole reason they came up with the separation of church and state. The U.S. was founded on the principles of religious freedom, JD. It's enshrined in the First Amendment. For you guys to be America first, you're incredibly stupid first. If it's enshrined in the First Amendment, religious freedom, then how is it founded on Christianity? The First Amendment grants you the right to exercise any religion that you want and prohibits the establishment of a state religion. Let me say that again for all the Magites in the back of the classroom who didn't know this about the Constitution. The First Amendment allows anyone to practice whatever religion they heart, soul desire. And it prohibits a state religion. So all this nonsense that America was built off of Christianity, when they first started getting this together, There was Quakers here, Puritans, Catholics, Jews, all under one roof. All under one damn roof. So how in the hell was America founded on Christianity? You're right, Muslims too. I want to highlight this comment here. He says George Washington will bite Macca with his wooden teeth at the gates of hell and spit toothpicks at Trump and JD. Well, you know, they say those teeth wasn't wooden; they were actually slave teeth. So, you know, I don't know about the spit and the toothpicks, but he'll definitely bite their ass. Let's get that right. Let's be very honest about this. America is not and has never been a Christian nation. And they love to say that because they're trying to funnel every supremacist under this concept of Christianity, when Christianity is not their true religion in the first place. Their true religion is white supremacy. That's what their religion is. Now, if you're saying America was founded on white supremacy, then I would have to agree. I would be inclined to agree. But you're not going to sit here and say Christian as in, like, you know, the actual religion of Christ. No, not at all. You people would leave church and lynch us. How the hell is that Christian? How the hell is that Christian? The Arabs are becoming their new masters. Hey, I am not going to argue with you there. Like I said, every time I turn around, they talking about another H1B1 coming over from over that way. So yeah, I would agree with you on that one, my good brother. I definitely would. They praise the white Jesus Bible. And I'm be honest with you, that was another point I was going to make. You can't be Christian while hating the color of Christ. You can't be Christian trying to change the color of Christ. Woe to he who changed any of the doctrines within the book. Y'all don't even like to say Christ is a black man. Let me say that again. Y'all don't even like to admit that Christ is a black man. Kid with the shits today. He said, I dare MAGA to draw Muhammad. Oh man. Oh. Oh, Jesus. I'm surprised they ain't going around saying Muhammad was white. Shout out to Melvino Miles in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for your PayPal donation. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always, my good sister. Let's continue. This dude, this man here.
Now, I want to be explicit because, of course, the fake news media will twist everything that I say. I'm not saying you feel about them the same way I do. I'm not saying you have to be a Christian to be an American. I'm saying something simpler and truer. Christianity is America's creed. The shared moral language from the Revolution to the Civil War and beyond. Across that history, our country's major debates have always centered on how we could best as a people please God. That creed, think about it. That creed motivated our understanding of natural law and rights, our sense of duty to one's neighbor, the conviction that the strong must protect the weak, and the belief in individual conscience.
Yeah, except for when, you know, that whole slavery thing was going on, right? Yeah, that doesn't make much sense when you put it like that. Especially because, you know, the pesky 3/5 thing, right? But every man has the innate rights that God gave him, right? Y'all didn't really look at that too much at that time, did you? You didn't really care about what the Bible said at that point in time, did you? It says that thou shalt not steal, but y'all had no problem stealing land and, you know, stealing people, you know. Thou shalt not murder, but you know, had no problem unaliving anybody you came across, right? But this nation was built off of the Christian values, you see. You know, how to most please God, you know. The hell out of here, JD. Shout out to our brother, Kid Gravity. Thank you for becoming a member, my good brother. Your donation is blessed tenfold. I appreciate your contribution, my good brother. Thank you. That's the screams of TPUSA's victims. Hey. Oh, man. Shout out to Hebrew Native in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here, my good brother. Let's let them continue. We almost through this. Teeth grinning. I am, let's go.
Even our famously American idea of religious liberty is a Christian concept. Because we're all creatures of God, we must respect each individual's pathway to that God. But over the last 50 years, there has been a singular focus, a war that has been waged on Christians and Christianity in the United States of America. And let me say, of all the wars that Donald Trump has ended, that is the one we're proudest of. For decades, the left has labored to push Christianity out of national life. They've kicked it out of the schools, out of the workplace, out of the fundamental parts of the public square. Freedom of religion transformed into freedom from religion.
No, dumbass. See, this is the dumb stuff that these folks are running around here telling each other in the Magite community. The Constitution. Let me say that again. The Constitution is what's been separating Christianity from all these areas where it shouldn't be. Due to what? The separation of church and state. So if you have a state-funded public school, of course you shouldn't be in there talking or preaching about Christianity, because it is a state-funded school. If you want to have a private school, you go have a private school, and y'all can talk about God and Christ and all this other stuff in that private school, no issues, because that's a private school. But when you're talking about a public school, something that is for the public, that is funded by the state, that is funded by the Fed or the local or the state, you must remove all religious talkings, all religious teachings. In the very same way they can't teach Christianity, they can't teach Mormonism, they can't teach Islam's. You can't teach a damn thing that has to do with religion in a public school. Hell, you can't have anything to do with religion anywhere that there is public funding going to. If there's a public park, you can't go and put up a cross. However, You can rent out spaces at that public park to have your little Bible studies and things like that if you go through the proper channels. This isn't just about Christianity. It's religion as a whole, all together. And that's the way it's supposed to be, because that's the way the Constitution set it up. But continue, JD.
And in a public square devoid of God, we got a vacuum. And the ideas that filled that void preyed on the very worst of human nature rather than uplifting it. They told us not that we were children of God, but children of this or that identity group. They replaced God's beautiful design for the family that men and women could rely on and turn to one another, with the idea that men could turn into women so long as they brought the right bunch of pills from Big Pharma. They had all the religious fervor of a zealous convert without any of the grace or forgiveness of a true Christian. Scripture tells us, by your fruits ye shall know them. And we might ask, what are the fruits of these people and their principles? And the answer is a man named Tyler Robinson who killed my friend.
Allegedly. Let Nicki Minaj tell it, you're the assassin. Let Nicki tell it was you, JD. Shout out to our sister Black Spider. They love the spotlight. Hey, like KG say all the time, these people don't want to fix America. They don't want to save the country. All they want to do is be famous. Shout out to Breeze Omega. Yeah, he isn't going to be president. Yeah. Yes, sir. I don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening. If it's him versus Kamala, we might get a third-party candidate. We might just get a third-party candidate. They'll call him the third-party president. I told y'all we went over that broadcast here on this channel that talked about how there are more independents now than the Republican and the Democratic Party. So you run these two idiots, I guarantee you, it's not going to turn out too well. It's going to be a very close fight, if it's a fight nonetheless. We might just get a third-party president, like I said. Shout out the Renaissance woman in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. 100% serious. Look it up. There is more independents than there is Republicans and Democrats at this point in time. Registered independents. But let's let them continue.
Think about it. He has everything that the far left wants from our young men. He rejected the conservatism and the spirituality, the values of a small town family. He moved into a small apartment. He became addicted to porn. He became addicted to hate. And he ended up sleeping with somebody who doesn't know whether they're a man or a woman. That is the nightmare scenario, but that is the scenario that the left has actively advertised they want for American families. And the young men in the audience in particular. That is exactly why we have to fight them. Because the fruits of true Christianity are men like Charlie Kirk. The fruits of true Christianity are good husbands, patient fathers, builders of great things, and slayers of dragons. And yes, men who are willing to die for a principle if that's what God asked them to do. Because so many of us recognize that it is better to die a patriot than live a coward. I'm going to tell you something I haven't talked about publicly before, but in the days after Charlie's death, I struggled a great deal. I'm sure many of you did too. I remember watching every video of the assassination.
I wonder what he struggled about. Was it, seeing Erica Kirk in those leather pants? Ooh, 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 honey. I guarantee you. I guarantee you it wasn't for any other reason than wondering whether or not he should be throwing the JD bone to Erica Kirk. No. Shorty DeSantis ain't gonna get there either. He ain't getting there either. I guarantee you. He is not even gonna make it out the god dang it. This okay, so let me put it like this: Kamala Harris, Gavin Newsom, god dang Shorty DeSantis. These are horses that are not going to leave the god dang horse. What is it called? The gates. It's not. They're not going to get out the gate. I can almost guarantee you, DeSantis, he's going to have to find something else to do because he can't be governor anymore. His wife is going to be running, and I don't know if she's going to make it. But DeSantis, he's not going to get to the presidency. America is not Florida, and Florida is not America. He can do all that shit over there in Florida. Bring that to the main stage. It ain't happening. Hell, he thought he was going to be Trump light. Yeah, that ain't happen either. I don't see it happening whatsoever. Oh, shoot. The only person that's voting for DeSantis is DeSantis himself. His wife is going to vote for another man. I guarantee that. Let's continue.
Assassination, looking for clues, trying to understand what happened. I try to hide my friend and that terrible bullet hitting him, but I would try to look around. I stayed up all night for many nights in a row, researching every conspiracy theory, going down every rabbit hole. When my lovely wife, Usha, told me to come to bed, I told her I owed it to Charlie to try to uncover every stone. And so that's what I tried to do.
Damn. I feel bad for Usha now. Not only did she come second to Erica Kirk, but she came second to Charlie Kirk. She telling him to come to bed. Your loving wife is telling you to come to bed, honey. It's late. And you up thinking about Charlie Kirk. Ain't that some mess? Oh, God. I feel for Usha now. He don't want her. Yeah. Yeah, that's just it shows. It shows she's just a tricket at this point in time. Like I don't, yeah. Usha, you might want to go and find you a man that love you. You might want to find you somebody who really loves you, Usha. He loves Charlie more than he loves you. Shout out to Wallow J for this. Republicans like Asian immigrants, Democrats like Latino immigrants. Either way, they like immigrants. Two wings of the same dirty ass bird. Absolutely. Let's let them continue.
I remember I was consumed by this fear that Charlie's death wouldn't just deprive a family of their husband or of a good father, but that it would deny our movement of a great unifier of people and a great doer of great deeds. It's the only time I can remember my wife ever telling me that she was really worried about me. She told me it many times.
She was worried about whether you were straight or not. But I digress.
What saved me was not lying to myself, but accepting the reality of the fight that we're in. Charlie's death was an immense loss, an irreplaceable loss. We got kicked in the teeth, my friends, and there's no sugarcoating it or pretending that it didn't happen.
Got kicked in the teeth by who? You got kicked in the teeth by who? JD? You got kicked in the teeth by your fellow Nabisco. You can try to make it seem like it was a left thing. You can try to make it seem like it's about transgenderism. You can try to make it seem like it's about liberalism. But at the end of the day, you got kicked in the teeth by somebody who looks like you. All because y'all want to address the elephant in the room. It is very ironic that you're the Republican Party. The mascot of the Republican Party is an elephant, but yet you all refuse to address the elephant in the room. That is ironic as hell. Ironic as hell. Shout out to Iron Will. Did they mention Nick Fuentes or Groypers? I'm going to be honest with you. They're trying to stay far away from that too. Because Nick Fuentes is out here talking some cash shit right now. And when I say cash, oh, he's out here calling out Donald Trump. He's out here telling people that they're just expecting them to vote for them in 2028. And it ain't coming down to that. We need to have another war. Oh, yeah, Nick is on his burn it all down talk. And if I understand correctly, I believe that's the whole ideology of the Groypers, is that they feel like America is already losing itself, is already on the decline, so they want to help it burn down. They say if America's burning down, let me pour some extra gasoline on it. I could be wrong, but from what I read, I believe that is the case. The Groypers want to see America fall. And with Nick Fuentes being this leader, Nick Fuentes want to see America fall. But that's what you get when you give the rabbit the gun. I keep on telling these folks, I keep on saying it. You got your Candace Owens because of the fact these folks wanted to give the rabbit the gun. You got your Nick Fuentes because of the fact that these folks wanted to give the rabbit the gun. When you give the rabbit the guns go off. The gun go boom. And these folks still haven't figured that out yet. And now there's rabbits all over the place with guns going boom, boom, boom. Let's let them continue.
We need to accept that. And what saved me was realizing that the story of the Christian faith, like the story of these United States of America, is one of immense loss followed by even bigger victory.
Did this? Hold the hell up. Hold up.
Nigga, please.
Fuck him, goddammit, and fuck anybody with his ass. Yeah.
This, I want to call him so many names. Let me dial it back. This fool just compared Charlie Kirk to Jesus Christ. This fool just compared Charlie Kirk to Yeshua. Really? Oh, family. If you are bringing up Charlie Kirk and Jesus Christ in the same sentence, it better be to say that Charlie Kirk is the Antichrist. That's the only sentence I will allow Charlie Kirk and Jesus Christ's name to be in the same damn sentence. If you're saying Charlie Kirk was nothing but an Antichrist. Exactly, my brother Will. He said because MLK comparison just wasn't ridiculous enough. Fantastic point, my brother. Fantastic point. You couldn't say nobody was rocking with you when you said that he's like a MLK figure, especially because he was disrespecting and denigrating MLK. So you got to get even more ridiculous. You have to get even more ridiculous by saying, no, you know what? We're going to compare him to Jesus goddamn Christ. Another black man that Charlie would have been denigrating if he was around during the time of Christ. Charlie Kirk would be one of the lead Pharisees. Charlie Kirk would have went and volunteered to POTUS and said, hey, I'll be a soldier if you allow me to poke him in his side. Charlie Kirk would be calling Christ a criminal if he was alive during that time. And you want to compare him to Christ? For y'all to not like black folk, y'all sure do love to compare people to us left and right. Well, let's continue, family.
It's a story. It's a story of very dark nights followed by very bright dawns. What saved me was remembering the inherent goodness of God and that his grace overflows when we least expect it. Not long ago, I spent time at a Christian men's ministry just a couple of weeks ago. And here's what they do. They take men who struggle with addiction or homelessness and they help them get back on their feet. They feed them, they clothe them, they give them shelter and financial advice. They live out the very best part of Christ's commission. Now afterwards, I had lunch with 4 of these men. It was a couple of white guys, a Hispanic guy, and a black man. They had all struggled in their unique ways.
It sounds like it's about to be a bad joke told, but go ahead. Let's let them.
Now afterwards, I had lunch with 4 of these men. It was a couple of white guys, a Hispanic guy, and a black man. They had all struggled in their unique ways. Some had lost contact with their family, some of them for a very long time. Others were desperate to rebuild relationships with their kids so that they could see them on Christmas. But all of them were back on their feet. And what saved them? It wasn't racial commonality or grievance. It wasn't some philosophical jargon. It wasn't a DEI prep course, and it wasn't a welfare check. It was the fact that a carpenter died 2,000 years ago and changed the world in the process. If you go to almost any food pantry in this country, you will find Christians feeding the poor. If you go to addicts whose families won't even speak to them, like my mom was at a certain point of her life, it's often the Christian ministries that stay with them at their very lowest moments. You'll find Christians sitting patiently beside hospice beds and in recovery rooms and in all the places of the world where people have given up on other people. And this is the moral truth we strive to center in our work in the Trump administration and in this great movement of ours. A true Christian politics, it cannot just be about the protection of the unborn or the promotion of the family, as important as those things absolutely are. It must be at the heart of our full understanding of government. Why do we penalize corporations that ship American jobs overseas? Because we believe in the inherent dignity of human work and every person who works a good job in this country. Why? Why have we worked without the help of Congress to restrict H-1B visas, for example? Because we believe it is wrong for companies to bypass American labor just to go for cheaper options in the third world.
But yet, Donald Trump is talking about bringing more over. What are you talking about here? What are we talking about? Donald Trump quite literally got on national television talking about how Americans don't have the goddamn smarts to work these jobs. That they got to bring over people in order to work these jobs. What the hell are we talking about? Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I ain't giving her no goddamn shout outs or nothing like that, but she decided to put a bill on the table to pause H-1Bs and just the visa process in itself. And that set you and Trump off. What in the hell is JD talking about? Somebody please explain this to me.
We help older Americans in retirement, including by ending taxes on Social Security, because we believe in honoring your father and mother rather than shipping all of their money off to Ukraine. We believe in taking care of the poor, which is why we have Medicaid, so that the least among us can afford their prescriptions or to take their kids to see a doctor. And it's why we are outraged at the injustice of Tim Walz allowing Somalian immigrants to defraud that program to the tune of billions of dollars. It ought to go to Americans, because that's who it's there for. I want to close, my friends, but I know, I've heard you. I know that some of you are impatient at the pace of progress, and my response to that is good. Be impatient. Use that desire for justice for your country as fuel to get involved in this movement in a bigger and better and more powerful way. I know some of you are discouraged by the infighting over any number of issues. Don't be discouraged. Wouldn't you rather lead a movement of free thinkers who sometimes disagree than a bunch of drones who take their orders from George Soros?
Really? Then why is Vivek Ramaswamy there? Oh, we're going to get on Vivek too. But why is Vivek there? Wasn't he taking money from George Soros? I'm just saying, like, you know, it's real interesting that you would even mention that when your boy Vivek was taking money from George Soros. All right, cook then.
And I know many of you miss our dear friend Charlie Kirk. So do I. I miss his optimism. I miss his energy. I miss the phone calls where we'd strategize about how to get this or that GOP congressman to get off their ass and do something. But most of all, I miss Charlie's wisdom. I miss his reminder that politics is not a dress rehearsal or a game. We are making decisions that will save our country and give the American people a shot at their dreams again.
Wasn't Charlie Kirk younger than you? And you miss his wisdom? Oh, that just shows that you have none. Because he had absolutely none. Anything that came out of his mouth sounded good to you. Because you don't have none. You don't have knowledge nor wisdom. And somebody once asked me the difference between knowledge and wisdom. And I had to explain to them. Knowledge is what you know. Wisdom is what you do with what you know. So I can know that I shouldn't be talking to little kids. I'm looking at you, Donald. I'm also looking at you, Bill. And the wisdom is that I'm not going to be around no damn little kids. These people don't have either. JD Vance don't have the wisdom, nor does he have the knowledge. That's why whenever he hears anything come out of Charlie Kirk's mouth, he calls it wisdom. When in actuality is stupidity and bigotry.
If you miss Charlie Kirk, do you promise to fight what he died for?
Do you promise to fight what he died for? I hope to God everybody fights what he died for. Fight the bigotry. Fight the racism. He should have worded that differently, right?
Do you promise to take the country back from the people who took his life? Do you promise to help defeat the radicals who cheered his death? Do you promise to honor his memory by having faith in the God he loves? My friends, commit to these things, and I promise you victory. I promise you closed borders and safe communities. I promise you good jobs and a dignified life. Only God can promise you salvation in heaven, but together we can fulfill the promise of the greatest nation in the history of the earth. Merry Christmas, my friends. Let's keep fighting.
All right, family. So that's the whole situation there. We went all the way through it. I didn't want nobody taking or saying that I took anything out of context. The man is a stone cold liar. The man is a stone cold gaslighter. And he's just like another gaslighter that we know. But before we go there, I want to play a couple of clips real quick. Mr. We don't care about racism. We don't care about your race. Let me go here real quick. America has always been racist. No matter what side of the goddamn political aisle you're on. Let's go here.
Only reason we can't have good social safety programs in the United States, like a good social healthcare system and a good safety net system, is because of the bunch of white people who are racist. And here's what I mean. I am convinced that if you could tell the racists that only white people would get food stamps and universal healthcare and universal basic income, they would all vote for it. The only reason they don't want to vote for it is because they're afraid that black people and people of color might get it. And I can prove it. Look at back in the day, there used to be public pools in almost every town in the South. No matter how big or small the town was, they used to have a public pool. And then after the Civil Rights Act, they had to start letting people of color into their public pools. And white people decided they would rather fill the pools with concrete and let nobody swim than have to swim with black people. And I'm convinced the same thing happens with our social safety net. These people would rather suffer themselves than help black people too.
Sounds pretty racist to me, don't it? Out of all the things that used to be free, used to be dirt cheap, these folks just didn't want us having it in the very same way they don't want us having it now. They sat here and they applauded. They were all applauding when the food stamp SNAP benefits were cut off, only to find out the majority of Nabiscos were the ones getting it. They will cut off their nose to spite their face and then tell you they're not racist for doing it. Many people have been going around talking about the backlash on Nicki Minaj after being at the TPUSA event. However, I haven't really seen a bunch of people talking about the backlash with Vivek. Because, you know, Vivek running his damn mouth has made these Nabiscos so pissed off that they're like, hey, we can't let this man become governor of Ohio whatsoever. Let's go here, family. Let me pull this down for a hot second. Give me one hot second here. I don't know why the heck everything just restarted on me, huh? All right. Give me 1 second, family. I had everything set the hell up, and of course, StreamYard decides to just do some weird shit. Give me 1 second. 1 second. All right, let's go here.
Vivek is a classic cultural Indian. So just days before Christmas, less than a week before Christmas, Vivek Ramaswamy, once again, not the first time, chose the holiday season to denigrate America, its culture, its people, repeating his execrable performance of just a year prior, December 26, 2024, in an X post. We'll share that, or a bit of that. I've talked about it before in a moment. This time, instead of an X post, Vivek denigrated America, its culture, and its people, not in a lengthy X post, but in a lengthy speech at America Fest, no less, a purportedly conservative political event put on by Turning Point USA, the organization established by, of course, the recently assassinated Charlie Kirk. And the message that Vivek sent to America and Americans, there's nothing exceptional about being an American. It's just a state of mind. Literally anybody can do it, including billions of third worlders. And America should simply accept that any third worlder, any recent arrival on our shores, who mouths a few American platitudes, is as entitled to the legacy and resources of America as is any other American citizen, at the cost, of course, of those scarce American resources now no longer being available to actual cultural Americans. This argument, of course, conflates the notion of a technical American citizen on the one hand, like a Vivek Ramaswamy, who may not even be an American citizen, and a cultural American citizen on the other. It also conflates the abilities and interest of the third world versus the first world. These are not the same things. And it cheapens the deeply loved notion of America as something exceptional and precious that was founded and built and sustained by the blood and sacrifice of generations of cultural American forebears, not Indians, not Haitians, not Venezuelans, not Chinese, not Aboriginals, Americans, not billions of foreign nationals. So I, for one, object to Vivek's cheapening of America, its culture, its people. I object to this culturally Indian Vivek Ramaswamy seeking to govern over actual American citizens. And I object to the infestation of America by tens of millions of third worlders, including far too many millions of purportedly legal Indians in my nature. And that's what we're here to talk about today.
Family, Vivek done pissed off the Nabisco something vicious, didn't he? He done pissed off the Nabisco something fish-ish. Shout out to our good brother Damon Reeves in the building. Much love to you, as well as Filthy Frankie Crack Netter in the building. Much love to you. Let's go here, because the Nabisco had a little bit more to say. And he points something out very freaking interesting. Let's go here.
They just can't help themselves because this is their culture. He's giving an interview here, knowing he's being filmed. He's in business attire, and he's barefoot. Have you ever seen an American businessman in business attire give an interview, knowing he would be filmed like this, barefoot? This is a exquisitely Indian thing to do. And that's why Vivek is doing it, because culturally, he is Indian. By the way, look at his disgusting feet here. And you'll notice that they're not unusually large. They look like normally proportioned feet for a guy his size, right? I didn't prepare this, but if you ever see a picture of him wearing shoes, his shoes are about half again as long as his feet. Like, WTF is that about? They look like Ronald McDonald shoes on this guy.
Family, they had to get so petty to call out this man's ugly, musty feet. He's like, man, first and foremost, you're wearing business attire, and you're out here with no damn shoes on. Oh, yeah, that right there got me. I don't give a damn. That was hilarious. Let's go here, family.
Can't let Vivek win. It's not even a question. It's one thing when a brown dude runs for office and does this very shameless, like, I'm going to tell you how to run your country type thing, you know, like a Zoran Mamdani. That's one thing. It's not good, but someone like Mamdani is running on the premise of, I am not an American. I am an immigrant. I am a foreigner. Vivek is a different type of disgusting, where he's running saying, yes, I am an American. And in doing so is attempting to redefine our identity. He's not saying, hi, I'm Vivek Ramaswamy, the foreign Indian, and I want to like turn Ohio into a gigantic data center covered in trash and all of my, disgusting cousins. No, he's trying to say, I'm Vivek and I'm as American as you. That's a different level of like egregious shamelessness. And if we let this guy win, we are effectively surrendering our identity. To me, this race is more about principle. Are we going to allow this neoconservative, Reaganite, Zionist definition of an American to reign supreme and allow this literal Indian scammer to run the state of Ohio? Or are we, after like 50 years, finally going to stand up, draw a red line and say, no, you are not an American. You are an anchor baby. And we plan on lifting up that anchor and sending the boats back.
Family, like I said, they out here using more and more of our language to discuss these folks that we've been discussing. See, the Nabisco is not that smart. The Nabisco is one of a copycat nature, and that's all they have been doing since we've even come and encountered these people. These people have always had a copycat nature, and they've always been worlds behind. When we sit here and call something out, these folks take a longer time to see what we're talking about and then call it out as well. So now you got all these folks being called anchor babies, which is the term that came from us. And these Nabiscos are out here doing it. No problems at all. No problems at all. go ahead and do so. Get these anchor babies out of here. Do that right there. So Vivek, I'm gonna be honest with you. You probably should have kept your mouth closed. You probably shouldn't have went in there thinking that you were just as American as anybody else. You probably shouldn't have went in there thinking that you was eating, because these Nabiscos are clearly showing you that you are not the same as them, and you're not the same as an American, period, point and blank. Sad day for Mr. Vivek. I don't think that you're going to make it into that dang, well, there's no Oval Office in Ohio, but the governor's mansion. You're not going to be able to make it there. These folks don't want you governing over them. You're too dark for that. You're too dark for that. What was her name that said she would never vote for you because you're an Indian? I'm spacing on her name. Family, put it in the chat for me, please. The white woman. And yeah, it's Ann. I forget her last name. Ann Coulter. Thank you. Thank you, my sister. Thank you, both of my sisters and brothers. Yes. Ann Coulter. She don't want you to govern over her. What makes you think that any other Nabisco will want you governing over them? But from one terrible would-be governor to another terrible governor, let's talk about Tim Walz, shall we? Tim Walz last week came out talking like this.
So this is what happens when your own federal government wages war against you. This is what happens when they target communities for their own benefit. This is what happens when they scapegoat. And this is what happens when they no longer hide the idea of white supremacy. When you hear the Vice President of the United States talk about now white people won't have to apologize for being white. That's never happened once in my whole damn life. And I think everybody in this room knows what they're doing. So we're here today to say enough of this. We're here today to stand that Minnesota will protect their neighbors. So
I'm wondering what, if any, has Tim Walz done for the actual black community in Ohio? Not the Somalis. Not the Somalis, because we know what Tim Walz does for Somalis. The man has a Somalian flag in front of the governor's mansion, for Christ's sakes. Don't believe me? Well, let's go here.
Look at the Somalian flag at the governor's mansion in Minnesota. There's cameras everywhere.
You're right, Miss Niecy. Thank you so much for that correction. Minnesota, not Ohio. I don't know why Ohio's on my mind. Something must be happening out there. But let's continue.
Look at that flag. A disgrace. We're not the only ones driving by.
Like they probably already ran our plates by now. Like literally. Like these cameras are so
Embarrassing.
I would
Look at the Somalian flag.
Now, family, this is one of the other situations, because he's done this before. The other time is when I showed you on this very channel is where he was doing an interview and he walked out the Minnesota flag and replaced it with a Somali flag. So we know what he does for them. I wonder if he's ever done anything for the foundational Black American community in Minnesota. I want to go here. This man by the name of Nick Shirley went out to Minnesota and did a little documentary. We're not going to watch it all, but we're going to touch on a little bit. We're going to watch a bit of it. Let's go here, family.
Hello, we'd like to ask where the money's going. What do you guys think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
I don't think anybody is enabling fraud to happen.
Governor Walz accountable for this.
What was this money spent on? 1.26 million. What was that money spent on? There aren't any kids.
Answer the question. Are there children? There's no children inside this building. Potentially the largest fraud scandal in U.S. history is taking place in Minnesota, as literally billions of dollars have been funneled through Somali-ran fraudulent businesses. So much fraud, it could actually almost replace the entire GDP of Somalia. These fraudsters have worked hand in hand with the Minnesota government as they enabled billions of dollars to be given to fraudulent businesses underneath welfare purposes. Some of this money eventually landed in the hands of terrorist groups in Somalia like the Al-Shabaab, and others enriched themselves all at the U.S. taxpayers' expense. And in this video, we will break down all of the fraud from start to finish, from going to the fraudulent businesses and confronting the people who are making millions of dollars from the government. And we will also be confronting the incompetent government leaders who let this fraud happen. And to make this happen, I met up with a man who's been doing his own investigation for years now, as he has seen the fraud firsthand. His name is David. Let's get into this and be prepared to be shocked. How deep is this fraud here inside of Minnesota?
It is far worse than anybody can imagine. You heard it's 7 to 10 billion and maybe more, and now the numbers have been revised and put out there publicly that they think it's more like 8 billion. How I got involved is that where my office is here in Minneapolis, I'm sort of in the heart of all of this fraud, and I would see these childcare centers. I said, well, there aren't any kids there. It's the middle of the day, and all I see are a couple of guys standing out front smoking. And then I'd go by another daycare and I'd see the same thing. I said, well, where do these kids play? And so I started to go online and look, and I said, this place is licensed for 80 children. They had 0 children. Every time I went by there, they never had a single child there. Then I started to see all these transportation companies going around, and it was always a Somali driver. And I said, well, that's great. They're out there transportation contributing, but they never had a passenger, never, ever once. And I said, well, what is all this transportation? What are they doing? So then I found out that in Minnesota, they have something called non-emergency medical transportation. So this is going to the dentist's office, therapy, whatever it might be. And I said, well, how many of these companies are there? And the research came back that there are 1,020 of them, and more than 800 of them are Somali-owned. Nobody from the state of Minnesota ever cross-checks to see if any rides were ever actually provided. All they did was write the check.
So right here, we have all this paperwork. And how are you getting all this information about the fraud?
A lot of it is through my own research. And then I have some contacts at the Capitol going back many, many years. And so the data that I'm getting is 100% accurate, coming directly from research done by people at the state Capitol.
All this paperwork right here, what are we looking at?
The areas of fraud that I have numbers for are mostly related to childcare. This is massive fraud that is beyond anyone's imagination, the scope. And so, for example, there's a childcare not far from here in Minneapolis that has two childcares listed at the same address. And together, they're licensed supposedly for 120 children.
Shout out to our sister Key Prince for this. She said they couldn't spell learning. They aren't teaching English, apparently. That is a fantastic catch. They damn sure ain't teaching English, because most of them don't speak it. See, a lot of the Somalis out there in Minnesota, they don't assimilate when they get over here. So when they get over here, they never really learn English. They might learn like the bare minimum, but they don't learn English because they don't speak English in their communities. But shout out to my sister for this. You're absolutely correct. Let me also give a B1 salute to FBA certified in the building. Much love to you, family. Thank you for being here. And before we continue, we're going to take a short commercial, non-commercial break. Give a B1 salute to our good brother, Black Truth United, for all his work that he has been doing with the B1 Rolodex. Let's get into it.
Introducing the B1 Rolodex, the easiest way to search for and support FBA and B1 businesses. Hundreds of entries from the Black grassroots for the Black grassroots. Free to use, free to download, constantly updated. Trouble navigating the document? Try using the map version. Notice a business missing? Use this simple Google form to submit an FBA or B1 business. Also submit anti-Black businesses, which are now being collected in that last tab. Find resources, contact numbers, and much more using the second tab. All the info you need to start practicing group economics today. Go to blacktruthunited.com. That's blacktruthunited.com.
They say doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is insanity. I say it's stupidity. We as Black Americans have been voting for the Democrats with over 90% of our votes going to them for the past 60 years. And what do we have to show for it? I'll tell you, we are 15 to 20% of the population, but nearly 60% of the homeless. We have aborted over 20 million of our Black babies. Our wealth is heading backwards, and we own less homes now than we did during Jim Crow. I'm not saying vote for the Republicans. I'm saying don't vote for any party. Vote for good policies. If anyone comes to us and they ask for or demand the Black vote, you tell them to show me your Black policies.
I am Greg Marcel Dixon, and I approve this message.
Rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman. He was the star of Black Panther that died today at the age of 43.
I'm always ready for a war again. Go down that road again. It's all the same. I got a dream. One thing. We gonna work it out. One thing. We gonna work it out. One thing. We gonna work it out. In a world of internet lies, we all look for love.
You're listening and tuning into
the station with the best music. Best music.
I love the music.
Best music. Classic radio.
broadcast.
Evenmelanin.com. New healthier glass bottles. No microplastic can't be wrong. Smooth and even, let the glow begin. Melanin, age with grace at Even Melanin. Melanin, radiant skin where beauty's from within. Melanin, feel the love with Even Melanin. Evenmelanin.com.
All right, let me give a B1 salute to our good sister Brooke. Much love to her, as well as Ethic Radio. Shout out to you, as well as our good brother Marcel Dixon. And again, once again, our good brother Black Truth United. Shout out to each and every one of you. And if you have a Black-owned business that you would like promoted, you can definitely email me and we can talk about it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be debuting a music video today from our good brother Cool Keezy. And it is entitled, want to make sure I got this correct here, 40 Acres. We'll be debuting our good brother Cool Keezy's music video here today, a little bit later. Now, let's get back over here, shall we?
I have never seen a single child there ever, and I've been by that place at least 100 times.
These Somalians, these groups are setting up these daycares, these childcare centers, getting money from the government, but there's no kids.
No kids. Never had any of them. They're all fraught with violations, and even though they have these violations, they're still in operation, and they're still getting money. And it's millions of dollars for every one of them every year.
And who's getting the money? And where are they getting the money from?
So we have a thing called CCAP. It's a blend of federal and state money. The bottom line is it's taxpayer money, so it's state money and it's federal money. And the problem is the people at the state of Minnesota are the ones writing the checks. This is kind of the maddening thing is you have daycare, so you have adult daycare, and then you have child care, and then you have health care. And a lot of these same names keep coming up on all of these different types of businesses. And then, of course, we have the transportation. A lot of those same names appear, a lot of the same addresses. There's one building that has 14 Somali healthcare companies at the same address.
Family, what this man is describing is called a crime ring. Honestly, there should be RICO charges brought up on everybody involved, from government officials to the Somalis. Everybody should be brought up on RICO charges because that's exactly what the hell I'm listening to. A crime ring. A B1 salute and shalom to our good brother Black RU in the building. Much love to you. Family, thank you for being here. Let's continue.
There's another building in St. Paul that has 22 Somali healthcare businesses at the same address.
And the government knows about this.
The government knows, they're writing the checks. Yeah, the Democrats over there writing the checks. What has happened is that the Somali community is a very closed community. They will not speak to anyone outside the community and talk about what's going on within the community. They vote as a block. And so when you're a politician, you're saying, look, I've got 100,000 people in Minnesota that if I do something for the community, they're going to vote for me. And that's what it's all about, is getting the votes. And then the people here in Minnesota, you hear this term, Minnesota nice. I'm so sick of that term. The people here are so afraid of being called a racist or an Islamophobe. And they're afraid of their own shadow. And I don't understand. This is our future generations are going to have to pay for all this fraud. And they just want to bury their heads in the sand and go on and just not worry about it.
Nah, I gotta disagree. It ain't the fact that they're just so scared of being called racist. No, they got money coming back to them. They're getting kickbacks. They're putting their hand inside of the cookie jar. They just never expected for people to actually walk in on them while they had their hand in the cookie jar. It ain't got nothing to do with them being afraid to be called racist. Let's continue.
Tim Walz saying there's organized crime in Minnesota. What did he do about it? Nothing. You got organized crime? What are you doing? This is the Minnesota law, which mandates that anyone who knows of fraud and is a state employee must report that fraud. It's Minnesota Statute 3.971, Subdivision 9. Not only that, but Walz is also guilty of misconduct of a public employee. When I look at the world as a whole and I look at fraud, the Twin Cities is ground zero. The fraud is worse here than anywhere else ever in history, anywhere.
We're going to go confront these people. We're going to go to the daycare centers. We're going to see what's actually happening.
Okay, so we have to be careful because these people are very violent. They're exceptionally violent.
Now, with all of David's evidence, we headed out to the streets of Minneapolis to see how much fraud we could uncover in one afternoon. Where are we going now?
We're going to a place called Mako Childcare, which actually has another childcare registered at the same address called Mini Child Care Center.
So we should see lots of children if there's this child care center, especially if there's two.
The two of them combined are licensed for 120.
And how much money have these child care centers received?
None of those vans have moved in 6 months. None of them. In 2020, one of them received $1.3 million. In 2021, they got $987,000. In 2022, they got $714,000. That's the last I have for that one. And then the other one, $1.604 million in fiscal year 2025. Fiscal year 2024, they got about $800,000, and in fiscal year 2023, they got $904,059. This place right here. Yes.
Over $5 million for a place that they ain't never went and did any investigation on. They've never went out, inspected the property, inspected whether or not they had children there or not. There was absolutely no oversight. None. But they were able to they were able to get $5.2 million. Exactly, my sister. If that was us, you already know. They'll be harassing us every chance they get. It must be nice to fuck off money. You're absolutely correct, man. Man, you know how they must be feeling right now. They must be. As a matter of fact, I can tell you how they're feeling right now. Let me hold on. Let me go here real quick. We'll get back to this guy. This is how they're feeling right now.
So you mean to tell me you went all the way to Minnesota just to pocket watch? And then on top of that, put out misinformation?
They're calling it pocket watching. They're calling it pocket watching. No, you're stealing from the American taxpayer. We're not just walking down the street, seeing you on the corner, wondering where you're getting your money from. No, there are mainstream articles showing the scamming nature of your community, but yet he wants to call it pocket watching. Pocket watching is what a lot of you tethers was doing when Tariq was crowdfunding for the damn museum. Where did all the museum money go, nigga? The museum, nice, built, everything. And they still call up asking, where did all the money go, nigga? That's pocket watching. Stealing from the American taxpayers, though? Yeah, that warrants some closer investigation. Exactly. It's theft. It's theft. That money wasn't supposed to go to you and your light bulb heads. Oh man, every time someone calls them a light bulb heads, that gets me every single time. The light bulb head. Teardrop head, not the teardrop head. They work hard to scam. They scam hard. Let's get back over here, family.
We're outside of it.
Well, this is actually 2 daycares are registered here. One of them is Mako, which you see on the sign. The other one is Mini Child Care Center. And between the two of these child care centers, they're pulling in about $3 million a year. And there are no children. Every facility you go to, the windows will be blocked out, so you can't see in. There's nobody here. You won't see a single child at any of these facilities.
There are indeed no windows. All the windows are blacked out right here. All right, let's go in. And the child care center is locked. Should we ring the doorbell? Yeah. Try to get in, ring the doorbell. Nobody showed up. They're open 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. It says here on their sign, yet there's absolutely nobody here. And this building here, right here, has generated millions of dollars, and it seems like business isn't even open right now, and it's a weekday. And if this was a daycare center, it wouldn't just be in some industrialized building. There'd be maybe like a playground or something outside. Or
there's no play area for the kids. So where are the kids? Where's anybody? How can there be nobody here? And it's like this every single day. I've never seen a single child here. In 9 years, I've never seen a single child at this building. Right there.
Oh, then now it looks like we already got the Somalis coming through.
Yeah, they're coming. The word's out.
Hello, is this your daycare?
No. Can you tell us why there are no children? Have you ever seen children at this child care center?
Doesn't know if she's ever seen a child here. All right, let's go to the next location. Now we're going to the next daycare center. How much money has this one generated?
This one, in fiscal year 2025, $1,042,059. In fiscal year 2024, $1,059,078. And in fiscal year 2023, $727,336.
This next one is literally 1 block away, and this one's also generated nearly $3 million in the past 3 years. Let's see if there's any children. Let's see if any of the buildings are open. Here we go. All right, we've arrived to ABC Learning Center. All the windows are blacked out. Let's see if anybody is here. This door is locked.
This facility is licensed for 40 children. 0 children. I've come by this place 100 times. I've never seen a child here, ever. The only thing I've ever seen is someone standing outside smoking.
What's crazy about this is that last daycare center is that green building right there. And the other daycare center right now is right here. These buildings should be.
Hey, that's a great point, C. Terry. Shout out to you. Fire hazard. Locking doors at a child care facility is a fire hazard. You are absolutely correct. Get them chains off the door, Mr. Clark. And no one is saying anything about it. This man said he hasn't seen a child outside in 9 damn years. Where's the oversight committee for this? Only way this would be able to happen is if you're working with the folks who are funding you. But let's let them continue. We're only going to do a little bit more of this because there's more I want to get to, family.
Operating as they're receiving literally millions of dollars. I knocked on the door, and to my surprise, somebody actually answered the door. Hello, can we speak? I would like to check a child in the daycare. Can I speak to a manager? Where can I get paperwork to file for my son? I want to put my son Joey in daycare. And after a few questions, the lady went silent. Looks like little Joey Shirley ain't going to daycare here. And now where are we going?
Now we're going to Sweet Angel.
Now, family, when y'all get a chance, go and watch this this documentary here. It is on X, and it's under Nick Shirley's page, I believe. Yeah, this is Nick Shirley's page here. So go ahead and check that out, and we're going to move along. But this is what Tim had to say after the documentary dropped.
And one of the things is that has been missing in America is what happens if you have a child? How do you take time away and how do you bond with that child, which we know all the research shows how big a difference that makes? Or what happens if you've got a family member that's sick? My family's going through that right now with a mother-in-law. Or what happens if you yourself have an illness and have to be either through treatments or hospitalized? The choice in the past was lose your job or go broke or care for yourself. Or as we were just saying, if you're lucky enough to have family support and people who do that, it's not the way things should be done. And I continue to say this, the United States is about one of 3 or 4 countries that doesn't have some type of program like this. Now we join the states that are going to implement a paid family medical leave program.
So family.
And one of the things is that
this man is talking about spending more money by having some sort of family sick leave program, some sort of child care stay-at-home program. They're going to pay you when your family's sick. They're going to pay you when you have to keep your children at home. Does this not sound like more corruption in a state that's already riddled with corruption? That makes absolutely no sense. So now that the daycare centers are being exposed for not having any children, now you want to say, oh, well, we're going to give money to people who are keeping their children who get sick and have to stay at home if a family member gets sick. That just sounds like more corruption. Outside of all the things that is already corrupt, let's do this.
Massive fraud in the state of Minnesota, especially in Minneapolis. This daycare right here, ran by Somalians, has taken in from the Minnesota government $1.1 million. This daycare says it can hold up to 40 children. I went up to the door. The door is locked. And as you can see, the windows are blacked out. I can't hear any children inside this daycare. It's midday right now. You'd think there'd be children in there playing, being taught, but no one is in there. This daycare, within 2 years, has taken in over $2 million. The Somalians are robbing the taxpayers in Minnesota blind. This is just one daycare located in Minneapolis that are doing exactly the same thing. We've went into daycare after daycare. All the doors are locked. All the windows are blocked out. And they're raking in millions upon millions of dollars. This Tim Walz's Minnesota is allowing this to go on. It's super easy to find fraud. All you need to do is go up to a door, try to open it. It's closed and there's no children. So you know these daycares, they're not full, but yet they're taking in millions of dollars every year.
In Minnesota, 1,834 ghost students were found to have received $12.5 million in taxpayer-funded grants and loans. Given your dereliction of the office entrusted to you by Minnesotans, I implore you to resign and make way for more capable leadership.
Of the federal student loan program, and we had found, and there was a large concentration of it in Minnesota, but totally across the country, we have now saved taxpayers about $1 billion. But what's happening is those universities where students were applying for a federal loan, they were not required to show any kind of identification to prove who they were. And so therefore, we had bots that were applying online. We had ghost students that were applying online, and the money, get sent out once the application is approved. And so what we have done at the Department of Education, at this particular point on the FAFSA loan program, is now requiring different levels of ID so that that money is in fact going where it's intended, to real students, not students. Well, some of them weren't even still alive.
Family, did you hear what Linda McMahon, the woman who has taken the worst stone cold stunner that I've ever seen in my life, just said? Ghost students are getting financial aid. People didn't even have to identify themselves to get that money. All in the state where Waltz is the governor. Let's go.
And there were bots that were receiving the money. They were going to monies in banking accounts, sometimes, offshore. And so we're continuing to hone in on fraud in the student loan program, but we did find a heavy concentration in Minnesota, and we didn't think that much was being done about it, so we brought it to the governor's attention, along with some of the other fraudulent processes that have been already shown to be in his state.
Madam Secretary, if the governor does not respond to your letter, obviously you've uncovered a lot. There's major concern there with where this money is going, if at all, anywhere in the states. What is the next step?
Well, I would like to hear from the governor, and I'll wait and hear what his response is. There are many levers that the Department of Education has, with federal funding, et cetera. I don't want it and don't think it will go that far. I certainly hope it will not, because I think the universities themselves would be very willing to utilize different ID programs. And as we look at the FAFSA applications themselves, and we cross-reference some of the credit information that's being put into that, then we'll be able to narrow that scope.
Family, not the only one, not the only thing. So now we got Somalians participating in child care fraud. We got school fraud, or what would it be called? It would be called federal funding fraud. Let's go here. This woman used to work for TSA. Now, here's the bigger issue that needs to be addressed. This woman is going to talk about seeing suitcases full of cash being taken out by Somalians. This woman worked for TSA. TSA is a federal agency. So how in the world was she forced to keep quiet when working in a federal agency? Let's go.
Suitcases filled with millions of dollars of cash, and the couriers were always Somali men traveling in pairs, and they got through the checkpoint. And it just really absolutely blew my mind the first time you open a suitcase and you see millions of dollars of cash. And typically what would happen is a Leo or a law enforcement officer would come, check their credentials. I don't know what kind of questions they asked them, but their IDs were always documented, and probably their plane tickets as well. So there is a trail of that out there. And I would believe, with all the cameras at the airport, that if they started there, they could probably find each and every individual that brought money through the checkpoint.
Obviously, this seems suspicious, if not alarming, given what seems to be a pattern here. So you're talking about millions of dollars flying out of Minneapolis, and you think it happened about every week or so? Is that right?
So it certainly seemed like it happened every week. The suitcases came in, and it was always, the MO was always two Somalian men traveling in pairs. Sometimes they both had suitcases. And so the process was, as a TSA agent, we would pull the bag, and then we'd bring them to a private screening room, and we would open the suitcase and make sure that that's all it was stacks of cash. And a Leo would come and maybe question them, and for sure take a picture of their identification, and I'm assuming their plane ticket. I'm not sure. So there is a trail out there. Between that, I mean, it has to be documented somewhere, and all the cameras in the airport, I would imagine if they'd like to find all this cash, they should start at the airport. Because in the 5 years I was there, I believe $1 billion went through the airport.
$1 billion. As if this isn't troubling enough, Liz, it's not just money.
This woman said within the 5 years she worked at the airport, $1 billion has been pushed through there. That is wild. And this is federal. So there are some hands and some palms being greased, and I mean greased tremendously.
You watched Leave MSP, is that right?
Yes, that is correct. There was another instance, again, a Somali man that had a carry-on luggage filled with brand new passports. And he was allowed to get through the checkpoint. So where he went with those passports is anybody's guess.
This is really incredible to hear. So it sounds like you're raising alarms with your colleagues, but you have to wonder how many people knew about this. Where were they all back then?
That is a good question. And I don't know how my colleagues felt about it. I've been out of TSA for quite a few years. So since all this fraud came out, the connection's been made. I didn't feel good about it then, and now it certainly all makes sense.
Recently, the City Journal published an article stating that, quote, federal counterterrorism sources confirm that millions of dollars in stolen funds have been sent back to Somalia. And in talking about Al-Shabaab, a terrorist group there, they reported that a confidential source said the largest funder of Al-Shabaab is the Minnesota taxpayer. Judging by what you saw for yourself during the time you were a TSA agent, do you think
the largest funder of Al-Shabaab is the Minnesota taxpayer? Let that sink in. So the Minnesota taxpayer has been funding a terrorist group without their knowledge of doing so. Very interesting, to say the least. Shout out to our sister Black Spider. This is all taking place in Black communities only. You are absolutely correct. And see, Terry, I agree with you as well. Lock her up too. What took you so long to blow the whistle? Did somebody grease your palms at one point? Did the palm greasing stop at one point? Is that why you're here now? Shout out to Key Prince. She said they probably work in the airports too. There are police there in Minneapolis that are Somali. You're correct. They have their own goddamn police force out there. I wouldn't be surprised if they were working the TSA as well. But here's the thing, though. TSA is not Minnesota. TSA is a federal organization. It is a federal agency. So in order to get into the TSA or to become a TSA member, you have to go through the government background check. And even if you pass that government background check, you're being watched in the airport. The cameras are on you all the time. So that shows, and one can deduce, that there is somebody higher up that's getting their palms greased. Absolutely. Let's continue.
There's any truth to this?
Absolutely. Knowing what I know now, absolutely. There's no question in my mind that that money went to Al-Shabaab.
It sounds like you've had a difficult time kind of living with this over these last few years.
Well, it's been uncomfortable because at the time, it seemed so lackadaisical that these people could get through the airport with all that cash. Time after time after time. It wasn't a one-time thing.
You know, at this point, more than a few Minnesotans have told us about suspected fraud. I've heard from state employees, business owners, even a commercial real estate broker who was telling me recently how they've just been bombarded with calls from members of the Somali community looking to rent any kind of office with just an address, just in case they get audited. They're actually openly admitting all of this. It just seems to be playing out, you know, for everyone to see. But even fraud in Minnesota is now making national headlines. It still seems, though, like elected officials aren't really doing anything about it or trying to ignore it.
It is so frustrating. It was frustrating when I was a TSA agent, and it's certainly frustrating now watching the state's administration doing what they're doing. You know, Walz and Omar, honestly, they should both resign in shame.
Why did you want to come forward and share your story?
Because I think Minnesotans need to know that billions of dollars left through the airport. And it was cash. It was literally suitcases full of cash.
So what is your message to our so-called leaders here in Minnesota?
That this just should not be allowed to happen. When they come through the airport, they absolutely should not be able to bring suitcases full of cash. Who goes with millions of dollars in a suitcase week after week, time after time, year after year? And all Somali people.
So, family, one of my major reasons why I wanted to do this broadcast is because, like I said, I'm sick of these people pointing the finger back and forth as if one group is racist and the other group isn't. The Republicans point at the Democrats and say that, you know, these folks have been getting your vote for 60 plus years and they have done nothing for you. And then the Democrat will point at the Republican and say, these folks have racist policies and they are targeting Black Americans. Both sides are lying. Both sides is omitting information. Both sides are doing the same damn thing. They're running the same damn play out the same damn playbook. It's just one is doing on the offensive side and one is playing on the defensive side. It's a very, think of it like this. It's like a scrimmage game between football players. Everybody's on the same damn team, but they split the teams in half in order to play a scrimmage game. But both sides still know the playbook. Both sides are still working from the plays that are in the same playbook that the coach is giving them. So there is no difference. Shout out to our sister Faith Speaks Life. Thank you for your Cash App donation. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always. There is no difference. It's just quite literally polar opposite sides of the same racist stick. That's it, and that's all. From J.D. Vance to Tim Walz. They're both staunch anti-black racist. Tim Walz is just as racist as J.D. Vance. Why? Because of all the things he's participating in. As I stated, if you are pro-immigration, according to the Labor Board, you are anti-foundational Black American. And Tim Walz has no problem pulling in all these Somalis. Tim Walz has no problem giving all the federal contracts to these Somalis, spending billions of dollars, and there is no oversight for it. What community do you think he's taking from? They might call it taxpayer dollars, but let's be very clear and be more specific. It's Black taxpayers' dollars. It is Black people that has to deal with the backlash of this situation. It is Black people that are going to be stigmatized because of a bunch of people that aren't Black. That's why delineation has been some of the best things, has been the best thing, let me be very clear on that we could have ever done. Not only are we showing the world why we're delineating, but these very same people are proving to the world why we delineated. But you can't look at a Tim Walz and see him doing these type of things with these Somalis and not understand that that is still a form of racism. He is still a racist. Just because he has a select group of people that he likes dealing with within a race does not mean that he's any less racist. In J.D. Vance, we already know he's racist. He's going home sleeping with an Indian wife, waking up in the morning thinking about Erica and Charlie Kirk. Before he goes to bed with his Indian wife, he thinks about Erica and Charlie Kirk. Family, these are two of the same damn dirty ass wings on the same damn dirty ass pigeon. And we won't be confused by their tactics. 2026 and 2028 is coming up. And both sides look like shit. And not even solid shit. It looks like mushy, green baby shit. Like, you know, nothing solid in it whatsoever. So, family, that couch is looking real nice once again. Once again, that couch is looking phenomenal. I don't like the left. I don't like the right. And that's how we should moving forward. The left, the right is all one and the same. The Green Party is one and the same. Everybody is racist because everybody is trying to uphold this system of white supremacy. Everybody is using the system of anti-black racism in order to benefit everyone except foundational Black Americans. That's it. That's all. It's very simple. It is very cut and dry. So yeah, the Democrats, y'all gonna have a problem. And later on in the week, I'm going to be discussing the Republican problem, Nick Fuentes. Before we get up out of here, family, like I stated, I'm going to debut this. Oh, here we go. Okay, I'm going to debut this video from our good brother, Cool Keezy. Shout out to him. I hope you all enjoy 40 Acres. Let's go.
We doing this here for the kinfolk. They built this here from the get-go. Why you think we really out here in the grit boat? 40 acres and a trick down 6 boats. We doing this here for the kinfolk. That built this here from the get-go. Why you think we really out here in the grit boat? 40 acres and a trick down 6 boats. 40 acres and a trick down 6 boats. 40 acres and a trick down. 40 acres and a trick down 6 boats. 40 acres and a trick down 6 boats. They don't want to see none of us get it. We gon' see every last one of us get it. We outside, we coming to get it. We know when they done and they finished. Coming to visit, collecting the debt. Yes, know that it's gonna get wicked. All of you coons, we done with you niggas. We really not caping for none of you niggas. Really act like they don't want to get richer and do it together while bucking the system. I'm bringing the facts, they coming with fixing. Rapping, not singing and mumbling, nigga. Plus I ain't drinking and stumbling, nigga. You get the bag and fumble it, nigga. I walk with the truth and it's humbling, niggas. Fuck if you like it, we coming to get it. We doing this here for the kinfolk. That built this here from the get-go. Why you think we really out here in the grip boat? 40 acres and a trick down 6 boats. We doing this here for the kinfolk. That built this here from the get-go. Why you think we really out here in the grip boat? 40 acres and a trick down 6 boats. 40 acres and a trick down 6 boats. 40 acres and a trick down. 40 acres and a trick down 6 boats. 40 acres and a trick down 6 boats.
Put us under pressure, trying to make us feel lesser. Nothing but fiction feel in their long ass lectures. Hear the ancestors scream, kill the oppressor. So I'm on the top of the roof and they use a suppressor. Reparations mean revenue. We did the job, so we already paid dues. Not another race that would trade shoes. Strip the dollars, but somehow we lay clues. Kings and creators, culture innovators. Still don't understand why a lot of folks hate us. Not the best, but the greatest. Ain't tripping at all when I say this. Turn it up loud when you play this. Want my 6'4" and 40 acres. Turn it up loud when you play this. Want my 6'4" and 40 acres, bitch.
We doing this here for the kinfolk. That built this here from the get-go. Why you think we really out here in the grip boat? 40 acres and a trick down 6 boats. We doing this here for the kinfolk. That built this here from the get-go. Why you think we really out here in the grip boat? 40 acres and a trick down 6 boats. 40 acres and a trick down 6 boats. 40 acres and a trick down. 40 acres and a trick down 6 boats. 40 acres and a trick down 6 boats.
Shout out to our brother Cool Keezy featuring Nike Nitty. Much love to them. Much love to them for that song right there. And I'm going to tell you one thing. I, for one, can say at least we know for damn certain that our brother is not another Mona Liho. Let me say that one more time. At least we know that our good brother is not another Mona Liho. Tell these politicians to cut the check. Shout out to the good brother for that. Much love to him. And I'm happy that I could debut it on my channel. Much love to him. Family, it's been one hell of a year. And we're just getting started. We're shutting down on both sides of the fence. We're shutting it down on both sides of the fence, and we're making sure that both sides of the fence hate our guts at the end of the day. What that woman say in the last broadcast that I played, she said that we are the villains of everyone's story. Well, it looks like the rabbit got the gun now, don't it? I don't have a problem being the villain. I know you guys don't have a problem being the villain. I'm Heath Ledger sitting in the jail cell, just clapping my hands with a Kool-Aid smile on it. 2026 is going to be even better. Shout out to our good brother Black RU. 2026 will be even better. And not only will it be even better, we're going to have even more gains. And I guarantee you this. When the Democrats come rolling back around here trying to do what they do every 2 to 4 years, there's going to be a lot more of us who give them our ass to kiss. That 92 percentile that y'all love to talk about so much, you won't even see a percentage of that. And that was just out of the people who voted. Republicans, y'all think that y'all have a clear pathway to 2028, and I want y'all to know you don't. You don't. And if you were smart enough, you would have solidified a win by coming to us and bringing us some tangibles. But since you didn't, I guess y'all just going to have to duke it out without us. I'm not going to sit here and say one side is racist and the other side isn't. I'm not going to sit here and act as if one is better for us than the other side. Hell no. Y'all both evil. You're both racist, and you're both upholding the system of white supremacy. And until y'all come to us hat in hand and cutting that damn check, bringing out all the checkbooks, not just one. I want all the checkbooks brought out to cut that check. Until then, you guys are just going to be swinging at the air in the dark, in the same room with each other. But with that being said, family, I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your Sunday. I will see you back here on Wednesday. And we got some things to go over on Wednesday. Like I said, I'm going to have to play Little Nicky Boy. I'm going to have to play some Little Nicky Boy, because that dude right there, he's been going off well enough to where somebody needs to
sit down and shut the fuck up, bitch.
Because that boy right there, he's trying to go scorched earth. Scorched earth. But family, shout out to our good sister Bad72. Thank you for your Cash App donation. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always, my good sister. I want you all to have a beautiful rest of your night. Shout out to each and every one of you in the chat. Shout out to everybody who's donated, whether by Super Chat, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, whatever. Much love to each and every one of you. Shout out to all my mods, my members, my Patreons. And until the next time, family, keep your head on the swivel, grab your popcorn, and enjoy what you're seeing. I know for sure I am. With that being said, family, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you can be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you're hitting that like and share button so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear. And if you have not done so yet, please click the link in the description. Go to change.org and put your signature on the petition for reparations. Family, enjoy the rest of your day. Much love to each and every one of you. And with that being said, The doors of the church are now closed. Peace, family.
My grandfather built this country, man. He fought wars for it. And most places he went wouldn't let him sit down and get a cup of coffee. I can't even catch a cab in New York. You know, it doesn't matter how many degrees I get. All you people see is color. Your grandfather was an immigrant. You're American. My grandfather was born here, Duke. And you people still look at me as just another nigga.
I know that the government, whatever, can't stand us black people. He's doing everything in the world to make black man be extinct. But I'm going to tell you one thing. Us black people going to survive. So fuck everybody. I'm out.